We're just eating some of these PC purple corn things, chips things, ranch flavored, that were given to us. I'm very grateful for them. With some avocado, tomato, and cucumber. And we're gonna go back to drinking kale juice. So that's 2 bunches of kale juice, 1 for each of us. And the bag of, I can't remember where I put the bag, but the PC things, it contained about 100 grams, I think, and which was enough for the serving size to split between 2 people, according to the package, and 200 calories each. But that's twice as much as that, plus what we have. So there was a fair amount in the bag, but we're not eating that all right now because, why? Unless James wants to, that's his half of the bag. I divided it.
Got an appetite looking at this, but I ate fairly recently, so...
Yeah. So this should be enough?
Well, yeah, that's right.
Good.
Pauline knows that I am relatively full because she washed a lot of grapes for dessert for what I was eating earlier, and I left a lot of the grapes, and that's how unusual because I love grapes.
He loves grapes. But it's been so hot, and I feel kind of queasy lately. It's taken me a while to decide to juice the kale and get back on the
It's
habit.
tough stuff, but it's tough on whatever ails you,
Yeah.
apparently. So for me, that's cancer. Now, I just want to note that we've got our nutritional consultant right here.
Oh!
Angel is her name. Sometimes she doesn't live up to it, but maybe she's like a fallen angel when she pees several times in the middle of the night on the floor inside. So.
Yeah.
But she was good. She's today. That's why I let her out here.
She keeps
She was
telling
kinda
me
like
that
asking
she'd
to
like
come up.
grapes. Every time I sit down and have a few grapes, she's like, she gets tears in her eyes, and she's like, "Please give me grapes."
So that's literally tears, right? You're not
Yes,
making,
I'm not
dogs
making
actually
it up.
cry, so they will cry
She
tears.
really wants grapes. And like she'll tell me, I'll be eating a pear and she'll be like, "I want some pear." And so I give her some pear because she can handle pear. And she likes it. She loves pear, actually.
Yeah.
But grapes,
apparently
it's not good for dogs. So we're not going to chance it.
Especially with someone this small,
Yeah.
right? So
I mean, as much as she looks so sad with the tears in her eyes, begging for grapes, she cannot have it. You just can't have it.
no grapes for you. So PC, when it comes to these chips or whatever, that doesn't mean politically correct. They're not nutritionally correct
President's
either.
choice.
So
It's
President's choice. We're kind of advertising for them.
Yeah, we kind of are.
At least they're
But
Canadian.
We're not
so.
being paid for it. Like honestly, we do most of our shopping at Superstore because
Food shop. Well, most of our shopping.
Yeah, because that's most of our shopping. Is food
Anything
shopping.
that we used to buy, outside of that was at secondhand stores. And how long has it been since we've been at a secondhand store? Probably like a year and a half.
Yeah, like before COVID.
Yeah.
So the only store we really go to is Superstore. And yesterday I went to
And Canadian Tire for the occasion.
Yes.
Whatever.
But so
We shop Canadian.
I guess we do.
Yeah.
But big box, so whatever. But anyway, what was I going to say? Oh, yesterday I went to the Salvation Army, not the Furniture Depot anymore. They're doing it right at the church, which happens to be near my house, so that's very handy. So I noticed that there were a bunch of people lined up, or scattered about actually all over the front.
Yeah, well, some people are lining up.
Some people are lining up.
Like people in a democracy.
But other people don't seem to realize
so
that they're supposed to line up, and it's
please
causing some
line up. If you come from someplace other than Canada, I don't care if you're white or
and then some people were showing up
please.
later and just butting in the line. They were saying, "Oh, I was here before," and it was like, "No, we saw you get out of a car. We know when you came."
Yeah, so don't lie on top of it. So they've done studies that indicate people in democracies are actually more orderly and law-abiding. That's one reason why democracies work. So if you come here from elsewhere, for Pete's sake, learn that. Line up. And you'll fit in.
She really wants the tomato. And
No.
she's not making it up. She loves tomato.
Yeah.
She'd eat all that tomato.
Yeah.
Given her how much room she had in her stomach,
Yeah,
she'd totally do it.
But, like, and please, you stupid fogos, look around. Oh, it's a different culture not to line up. It's just as legitimate as the culture where people line up. It's probably more legitimate. There's something wrong with people who line up. They're white and they've got some sort of mutation that makes them inferior or stuff like that. It has nothing to do with color. When you're in a democracy, there's a rule of law. And some of it's like common law. You line up. Who are
Poor
the people
Angel.
that don't line
She said,
up?
I was lined up for tomato.
Yeah, there's a guy called Bob Campeau. I don't care what color you're, Bob Campeau or Robert Campeau. He was one of Pierre Trudeau's big friends. And was he poor? No, he was a millionaire, probably a multimillionaire. And he'd always jump the line, go to the front. He didn't understand democracy. And Bob Campeau was a horrible person. He was a bad advertisement for business people. So people who jump the line, I don't care what color they are, and I don't care what persuasion of religion or whatever they are. When they're in a democracy, it's good for them, it's good for everyone else if they line up. So please do it.
So anyway, I was waiting for hours. Couple hours, more than a couple hours for food. But it was free
Because
food.
people kept on butting in.
Well, yeah, one woman, she left because she'd been waiting there apparently since 9.
Mm-hmm. And
And
people
I-
were jumped
like-
in line on her, right?
And yeah, people kept doing it. And so she was like, it's not fair, it's not fair. And she was kind of a mousy little woman.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say that. But you know what I mean. She was
She was small.
and shy.
And, like,
Anyway. And
lots
so,
of people don't stand up for their rights, right?
Yeah. But anyway, she was very stressed out about it. And she was like, she was going to leave. And I'm like, don't leave. You're almost there.
Yeah.
Don't leave. And she just couldn't handle it. She left.
Yeah.
So she'd been there for hours waiting for food and she couldn't get it. Good job. We haven't done this in a while, so this is like a real,
Yeah, I got that down.
yeah, a
That bringing
real.
it back up again?
I'm too tired to talk apparently.
Yeah, it's hard to sleep when it's
Yeah, it's hard to sleep when it's hot.
it's hot.
We don't have air conditioning.
You
or
got a
anything.
bit of a sunburn? Wow. It really does. You just absorb it.
I know. It's my
With
my
me.
golden complexion.
Mm.
I was like beet red yesterday.
Not
Last
beet
night.
red, but
Well, pretty red.
Pretty red. Much
Um,
redder than she is.
Tomato red.
To a certain extent.
So anyway, yeah, beets a total exaggeration. I was not purple. So anyway, I was quite red last night,
Yeah.
but I put the cold, wet cloths on me, and then I put aloe vera.
Oh, the aloe
Okay.
vera helps.
Yeah. And I'll probably peel anyway because I was quite red.
You were saying
But-
you were itchy, which is a sign
Yeah.
that it's fairly serious.
Yeah. But yeah, James, he's much fairer complexion, so
Oh my
You can't
heavens.
handle
I used to look a bit like a atomic bombing victim after some of my experiences. Especially playing, soccer tournaments where you're playing 2 games in a day. Get it on my legs.
but who knows? I might get skin cancer anyway because I'm out in it, right? I get out in the sun, I'm out hiking, and he's more likely to say, nope, we're only going to hike until 10 in the morning, which is sensible, right?
Trying to
Because
avoid
he can't handle it.
between 10 and 2.
So it's probably luckier that we got together for me, because you keep me out of the sun more.
Yeah.
Whereas I'd be out in it more.
I think since we've been together, I've only had sunburn once. And you got to watch it because I was at the beach. We're at the beach up at Lesser Slave Lake. Nice beach there by Martin's, whatever it is, Martin's Beach. And
Yeah, we had
I was careful. I was under one of those
my
awnings
aunt
or whatever.
and
What did they call those
uncle at the time. They had a cabin there, so they
Yeah.
were right on the beach. It was
Oh, it
lovely.
was awesome.
So we got to camp there right on the sand
Yeah, that's right.
at that night. It was wonderful.
Thunderstorm rolled in.
So we didn't need any.
Thunder shower.
We didn't need any air mattress or any foamy or anything like that.
It was pretty good.
It was just
Yeah.
totally soft on the
It was
sand.
very small tent, and we had a big basket on 60 pounds. I think we were scared of the thunder a little bit. I was more scared of the kids in their
Quads
ATVs
or whatever,
around, on the beach.
ripping down the
In
beach.
the middle of the night, I was afraid they'd just come storming right over us. Shameful.
I know.
Anyway, we survived that.
Yeah.
Our little dog only lasted a week after that.
Well, at least he got that experience of
Exactly.
camping in the.
Anyway, it was incredible when he just had to move around in that tent. He was basically almost like crawling over both of us. It was bulging at the seams with all three of us. Anyway, we got in there, and it's a nice memory. Copper was the name of that fella. And he, that's when I first noticed the dogs cried tears.
Oh, he would blubber.
If we had food that we didn't share with him, big tears, and he would blubber. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
He'd be crying.
Yeah.
Oops.
Oh, yeah.
I saved him. Sorry, people at home. I probably
Didn't
looked
want to
pretty
lose
crude,
avocado.
Yep.
Yeah, we had this avocado given to us by the
Very good
Salvation
avocado.
Army.
Some of the best I've ever had.
And yeah, it was great avocado. There were the first couple bags that I noticed there, they were splooshy, like the avocados had splooshed out. But then these ones I grabbed, they were good.
Oh, I was going to do a review. This is like the third time. All right. So I've kind of flashed this on the screen before, and maybe you guys that were hoping that I wouldn't visit on you, maybe you can tune out now. Probably tuned out now. As soon as I started making fun of faux gauches and faux gaucherie. So, Polish English, visual, bilingual dictionary. It's put out by, what does DK stand for? I think it's an English company, or actually it might be Continental, and then translated into English. Penguin Random House puts it out. Dorling or Dorking Kindersley or something like that. So Kindersley sure seems like an English name. So it's English. Penguin was originally an English company. I think now it's centered out of New York. So first American edition, 2016. Dorling Kindersley. DK, they've got their imprimatur. Big DK here. I like these bilingual dictionaries. Firefly might put them out too.
Yeah, I know you like them.
Yeah, it's great because you got color pictures, and a lot of the stuff's pretty useless for everyday life. Who cares about a cop's badge? Policia.
Yeah, I don't know why they'd bother putting
You
it
got
in.
gardening, that would help us out, right? Lopata, that's spade. And grabier, something like that. So a workshop. I wish I were a handy type of fellow. The handy type of person in this family is Pauline by far. But,
I'm not very handy.
accumulator, a battery pack.
I look on the internet and I try to find what looks like somebody who knows what they're doing, or some project where they've taken at the end and it looks like it hasn't screwed up.
Yeah, well, anyway, a lot better than me. I was somewhat better than my dad. His way of fixing up things was maybe duct tape, or what came before duct tape or whatever. Stuff would fall apart and put it back together. Pretty useless when it came to things. Pretty useless at most guy type of things. He's absolutely useless in sports. I gather you had 2 eyes that didn't match up. There was, I think that was a function of my granddad on his side, his dad marrying his cousin. His cousin. And I think, when you look at other things...
Why, were they out in the middle of nowhere or something?
No. He almost died in the Spanish flu.
Oh.
And I used to wonder why my dad was why they were so old when they had my dad. I think my granddad was like 40 or something. It's because, I think he was born in 1882 and my dad was born in, he was 41. My dad was born in 1923, so I wasn't making it up. You see what I'm saying? It was actually underestimating. I try to I will make mistakes about dates and numbers and stuff like that, but I try to underestimate, so people aren't going around and saying, you're dramatizing, like the idiots who are going around in textbooks saying the Americans with their firebombing of Dresden killed 200,000 people. Well, when I was a kid, I don't know, it was exaggerated. I was saying it was 50,000. It's, that would be about, what was it, Slaughterhouse 5, which was written in, I don't know, in the 60s or something like that. So in roughly 50 years, we'll say 2 generations, it's quadrupled. So if we wait 2 more generations, if I survive that long, I can expect them to be saying the full Goshes, 800,000 people. That's what those horrible Americans did. Killed 800,000 people in Dresden. The population was 500,000 or something like that, but they killed 800,000 people because there are all sorts of refugees coming in from other places that have been bombed in from the countryside and all this. 800,000, and then, Lord only knows what it's going to be like. I'm going to tell you a little secret, Fogoshes. You're not going to be around in university positions. Your days are numbered. I hope it's not numbered in terms of your lives, but you are
that's
really,
what's interesting is
really
how
pushing the
clueless
envelope.
people are about what's
I'm going to
going
have some
on.
of these. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's your bag. You can eat them all.
Oh, there we go.
I divided into 2 bags
Yeah.
because I had a feeling you would want to eat them at a different rate than I would.
Yeah. Well, I just want to eat them.
And there was a limit of 1 for that product, and it was funny because the woman who was helping me shop for free stuff, she what did she say? When I was picking out, she said, "You don't eat that often, do you?"
Yeah, this is the first and probably the last time.
And I was like, "Who knows, right? We'll see." But no, I don't.
Nothing like that. I mean, we like the occasional.
We have went on popcorn binges and stuff like that. But then our popcorn maker broke. But it was ancient. It was from the 70s. My aunt she probably had that when she moved out of her parents' home, and then she gave it to me when I moved out of mine. So it had been around a long time.
Through a lot of years.
Yeah.
Anyway, maybe I should finish this.
Yes, you should, because I get chatting about other
recommend
things.
Recommend. Well, I was chatting about other things. You'll find that our reviews, well, mine, not so much mine, are pretty desultory, jumping around from place to place, and so on and so forth. So if you don't like that, well, there's plenty of other stuff available on the internet. But this stuff comes recommended. Just don't Don't get it. You know, like, I don't know, 1895 Canadian. I would have paid 50 cents or something like that for it. It's well worth the 50 cents.
Well worth it.
1895 Canadian, and that
Probably
was fairly
worth that.
recently.
He's-
Took a
I-
2016 pub.
I thought you'd
Oh,
probably bought that one new. But you don't think you did, hey?
I don't think so. Anyway,
But
someone
he
didn't go
used
through
to-
it, you know.
When I
It's well
first
preserved.
started with James, he
Yeah.
used to go buy books at Chapters
Yeah.
every week.
Yeah.
Every week,
Mhm.
new books.
Yeah.
But I mean, he'd been living alone,
Mhm.
and
Well, it's still saving money. Yeah.
yes, and he didn't buy. That's what he spent his money on.
I wouldn't buy. I'd buy the occasional bit of clothing, new, like long sleeve shirts and stuff like that.
Yes, but it was the same. He bought all the same shirt, all the same type of shirt. So he had.
I had
they were-
7 green check shirts. They
Yeah.
looked very Scottish. The trouble was, I have psoriasis.
Yeah.
Not nearly so bad now that they
treated your
got
cancer.
my cancer
Yeah.
under control. And
So that fabric worked for him. So he said,
well,
"Well, I better
finding
buy a bunch."
finding
of,
long sleeve
so
shirts
that's it.
that are soft that you can, because usually they're built for cooler weather, right? Long sleeve shirts, so they've got
Yes,
thicker fabric.
yes.
So I found this one that was awesome, really soft and stuff like that.
Yeah.
This is when I was working outdoors. I used to like long short sleeve shirts. I was going, I'm going to get burned like crazy,
Yeah.
or else just use up so much sunscreen and I'll
Yes.
break the bank. So when I found,
Well, they did
Once I just
supply
buy-
us with sunscreen.
I don't like using sunscreen anyway.
Yeah,
you
I know,
like
it's not
maybe
healthy.
dangerous. So
Well, it is.
anyway, I'd slather it on my face and stuff like that, but I made sure I had,
well,
and
you
on the
gotta
backs of
do
my
it.
hands.
You're out there all day.
I don't think I ever got a sunburn with the city. I was working outdoors 10 seasons in a row.
I probably did because I have a hard time with the reapply thing.
Mhm.
So
I just
put it
got
on
stuff
and
that
I
was-
sweat it off, and then I
Yep.
forget to put it back on.
There was a certain factor that was supposed to handle 8 hours, so never ran
Yeah,
into
well,
trouble.
that's the thing to do is buy your own sunscreen. Don't go
No.
with what they give you because they give you the SPF 30 or whatever, but
It's crazy.
not enough.
Well,
so,
well, all it is excuse for the people that like copulating with a canine. You know what I mean?
yeah, so then
To take a break. I'm not saying Pauline was that way,
I
but
know.
Pauline was
But-
would work through coffee breaks. But there are a lot of people, reapply, half hour like reapply. I was
Yeah,
sweating it
well,
all
why?
off. You know, that would be the story.
I don't know why. I mean, it's
Some people
when
can't
you're
take work.
working, it's
I mean,
boring
it's
to
better.
try to find other things to do rather than work.
Yeah,
Why
the
not
thing that
work?
I found
Makes
is-
the time go by faster.
When you're working and you stop and you start again, it's like running
Yeah.
and stopping.
Yeah,
The movement actually helps move your blood around.
yeah.
It hurts. It's kind of like to start up again.
No, it's very nice to be busy
So
because when you're busy, time flies.
mhm.
So it's good to keep busy. Anyway, but
Anyway,
when you work with other people, you just kind of have to work with their schedule, and that kind of sucks. But I don't have to worry about that now.
yeah. So I recommended this.
Oh boy,
Don't
we're
buy it.
doing a terrible review, aren't we?
No, this is a good review. It's a good review of the book,
Okay.
but it's also a
It's
good
good book.
review of the series. Firefly does, I think, a pretty good one too. Get as many of these as you can, as cheaply as possible, and please study other languages. Please, please, please. Don't go around yipping and yapping about other cultures and about how inferior the so-called Western culture is. The Western culture is the Western culture. The reason why it's superior, it's not Western, it's the whole world. It's cosmopolitan. So don't go comparing one little subculture somewhere off in the boonies, like let's say Hutterite culture, with Western culture. Because Western culture subsumes Hutterite culture, or some Stone Age sort of culture. Western culture worked through that. It worked through that. In some cases, thousands of years ago. Western culture came from northeastern Africa and southwest Asia. And there they worked through it 5,000 years ago. Well, the Stone Age culture, they were through that even before then. Yeah. So it's the Western culture. That's with an R at the beginning. So get cosmopolitan, you idiots.
Are you done?
Yeah, learn some languages.